everyone, I'm here with the next step of my Christmas card making process. This step is maybe a little messy, so I'm coming to you from my garage today. So let's get started with our list of supplies. Paper, chalk, and a chalkboard eraser. So this is going to be the inside layer of my card, and I'm going for a chalkboard effect. So I've got some green paper and some black paper, since that's the kind of colors of chalkboards you usually see. And I'll show you how I'm going to do it. So all I'm going to do is take my piece of chalk, and this is just standard Crayola chalk, nothing fancy. I'm going to grab it and I'm just going to color this paper all over the place. I'm kind of pressing down hard because I want there to be some dust I can spread around. You don't have to completely coat it. Just get enough that when you grab your eraser and start to erase, you sort of get that effect of an erased chalkboard across the whole thing. Oops. And be careful not to erase too vigorously and crease your paper. I got lucky there. It doesn't look like it actually bent. So there's my green. And we'll do a black as well. And I'm not really doing any rhyme or reason to this. All right, and then we'll erase. All right, and I think that looks like a well-used chalkboard, which is what I'm going for. So there you go. Now that we've gone over the general process, I'll show you one of my signature shortcuts. We've got our black, green, grab your eraser, and you're done. And the next step is to cut these down to size. So we'll do a little quick shortcut for that as well. And there you have it. And then we'll gather these up and move inside for the next step of the process. Okay, so here we are back in the studio, and I've got my materials gathered already. We don't need a lot for this step, but I've got my paper that we've chalked up. I've got a paper towel to wipe off some of the excess chalk. I've got my white charcoal pencils that I'm going to use to kind of give a chalk-like effect on my writing for these layers. And then I've also got this little math equation that I'm going to write on each of the cards, which transforms this equation into a little Merry Christmas. And we'll go into how that works a little bit here. If you're not interested in the math part, just fast forward and we'll get back to the crafting. Okay, so here is our equation. Most of the steps we're going to take to transform this into our Merry Christmas are pretty simple and straightforward, but the one more kind of advanced thing you're going to need to know is that E is the inverse of the natural log, which is this ln here. And primarily what you need to know is E to the ln of x equals x. So we're going to use that in a little bit. And we'll just go through the steps to show you how to get to your Merry Christmas. So the first thing we're going to do is multiply both sides by r squared, which is what we've got on the bottom here. And so that cancels out on this side, which gives us our next line, which is y r squared equals ln, or the natural log of x over m minus sa. So now here's where we're going to apply our rule that we just learned. And so we're going to raise both of these or I think I'm using the wrong language here. We're going to put both of these sides to e. This is going to be the exponent of e on both sides. So we're going to raise e to our y r squared and e to ln xm minus sa. And so that's going to simplify to e raised to y r squared equals x over m minus sa. And you don't actually need these parentheses here. And so the next thing we want to do is get rid of this m. And so we're going to multiply everything by m. So actually the parentheses come in handy here. So we'll multiply this side by m, multiply this side by m. And so we're going to apply the m to both pieces of this side of the equation. So we're going to multiply the sa by m and the x over m by m. Those m's will cancel out. So you'll be left with x times, x minus msa. So what we're going to have on our next line is m times e raised to y r squared equals x minus msa. And now we're getting pretty close here. We're just going to rearrange some of these and break out expand out our r squared. So that's going to give us m times e raised to r y, because that's two r's and our r squared and a y, and you can rearrange those as you want. And that equals x minus m a s. And there you go. Okay, now that I'm sure you're thoroughly confused, let's get back to the crafting. So all I'm going to do is take my white pencil, and I like to make sure it has a fairly sharp point, and I'm going to copy this onto each of my layers here. And I've been wiping a little bit of the chalk off just so I don't get so much excess chalk dust on my table, on my hand, get it smeared all over the place. So you just copy your equation. Oops, if you press down too hard, your tip might break off a little bit. Let's see if I can get that there. It's a pretty soft pencil, so you've got to be careful. Okay, and there we have it. I really like the way this pencil looks on this chalked up paper. So what I was going for was the look of kind of an equation written out on a blackboard in a classroom. And I think I got that with these pencils and the chalk. So now that we've got that one done, you just do it a bunch more times. So that's all I've got for this step. Check back in for the next part of the process.